Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing some quick little love notes from your person. But before we get started, I wanted to share a very amazing and beautiful product with you. These are preserved roses that are available through a company called Rose Forever out of New York. These roses are preserved using natural oils, and they last for up to a year, although I really suspect looking at these that they will last a lot longer than that. They come in a variety of colors to suit your palette. They've got rich violets, black, royal blue, as well as more traditional colors, reds, pinks, or as you can see here, the ivory roses. They also come in a variety of styles and quantities. There are smaller bouquets, there are larger bouquets. They come in these really cute Parisian style hat boxes. They've got round, they've got square, they've got so many different choices as far as the packaging. All of that packaging as well, the velvet and the suede that is used to cover these boxes are vegan materials, so cruelty-free, very sustainable. And again, there's enormous choices of colors and shapes and materials, different price ranges to fit your particular needs and style and budget. So if you're thinking about giving a gift to somebody, roses that will last through the seasons, this is definitely the company to consider, maybe even gifting something to yourself. And at this point in time, they are running a very big sale on their website, 60% off their normal everyday prices. And as part of the partner program, they have given me a coupon code that is listed in the description box of this video, along with a link to their shop, Rose Forever. And when you click on that link and use the coupon code INDIGO25, you will receive an additional $25 off on top of the discount, the sale that they are already having. So that's a really great deal. The coupon code is good for 30 days, so that gives you plenty of time to browse, drop the hint to that special someone, or kind of budget out of your own expenses in order to gift this to yourself. You will not be disappointed. I know when I opened the box, it was breathtaking. These are definitely, the pictures do not do justice to them. They are just so beautiful, such a unique idea, and I'm very happy to be able to show you this, to be able to offer this and kind of spread the word about this company that was launched in 2019. So they have been doing this for a while. They know their business, they know this technique, and they really are master artisans as far as putting together these very beautiful bouquets, the roses that are handcrafted by professional flower artisans, fresh picked and preserved using natural oils. So definitely check out their website, take advantage of that coupon code and this wonderful sale that they have going on right now with Rose Forever. So in terms of the reading, this is going to be a message cards only reading, and there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Rose Quartz Heart. Group 2 is the Clear Quartz Heart. And Group 3 is the Jade Heart. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you are most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Rose Quartz Heart. So I'm going to be getting 3 cards from 3 different decks, and let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? Okay, and they say, I cannot handle any more heartbreak. So this person may be considering reaching out to you, expressing something, delivering some kind of an apology, or letting you know how they feel in a more defined manner than they had in the past. But there's a hesitation associated with this, a fear of rejection that might be holding them back at this point in time, as well as a lot of thought that is going into the previous cycle and phase that you were in together in your connection. A desire to move beyond that into better times, into calmer waters. But again, this fear, this hesitation, not wanting to be rejected, not being sure if you're still open to them, if you feel the same way, if you will be receptive to what they have to say. They also say, I'm entwined in the thought of finding you one day. So they could be looking you up online, seeking you out, Googling you, searching social media platforms. For some of you, this can even involve driving by your house, going back to familiar places that the two of you spent time together, going over memories in their mind and trying to find a way through, find a solution, strategize a way forward from these circumstances that the two of you find yourselves into the direction of some kind of repair, reconciliation, or a fresh start energy. And they also say, I can see eternity in your eyes. So eye contact may have been very triggering for this person in the past in this connection, a sense of really seeing in your eyes both the potential and kind of the limits that stand in the way of that mirrored within themselves. This is really bringing forth the essence of a deep past life connection as well, a soul familiarity that they have with you that is very uncanny. It's unlike what they have experienced with anyone else before, and being very drawn to that, but at the same time very intimidated. And they also say, seeing you triggers past pain within me. So confirmation right there of that idea of kind of the potential, the best of what they might become, but also the limits within and around themselves to actualizing that is reflected energetically by you through who you are, how you move through the world. A lot of fears of rejection, fears of inadequacy, fears of intimacy that are deeply triggered within this person by this connection. And it feels for a lot of you sort of their impulse, their kind of reaction to all of this was just to run from the situation. But in a period of silence, in hindsight, as they have kind of taken distance, taken their leave from the situation, a lot is becoming clear to them. They are starting to look at these things within themselves, and also kind of looking around as far as how to sort of repair the situation between the two of you, a necessity to sort of move through these shadows and kind of wounds within themselves in order to come into a place of wholeness and greater self-acceptance, to be able to deliver something measurable to you by way of an apology, or some kind of an offer to start to begin again, to build from the ground up in the situation. A lot of shadow work that they may be doing at this time as well. Some of these things not even necessarily of their own volition, really, being confronted at this time, seeing these shadows reflected to them even in their interactions with other people or other circumstances in their world. They also say your heart will heal. So that is that energy of wanting a reconciliation, wanting to repair this situation in some way, knowing that they need to take some kind of a step towards you in order to be able to mend this situation in some manner. They may have been avoiding this for some time, avoiding a lot of these, again, kind of wounds and triggers within themselves. But this feels like somebody who has maybe had a tendency to avoid, to run, to kind of defer work that they have needed to do on a soul level for quite some time, just kind of going around in the same kind of patterns and distortions. And all of that may have come to a crashing halt in many ways, or they're really starting to recognize that in order to change these circumstances, change within is necessary, so they can be working at this time on kind of addressing and releasing heartbreaks from the past that have kind of unconsciously sort of propelled them away from deep intimacy with others, things they had been holding on to from their childhood, or again, early kind of romance and disappointment that they weren't even really aware were still factors, were still affecting them, and yet have definitely contributed to sort of the limits that they had placed upon their own willingness to explore and kind of express and expand upon the connection between the two of you and the feelings which had really been surfacing within them. They also say, I'm sending you signs. So this person could be very consciously sending you loving energy from afar, kind of sending that love in the time while they are otherwise occupied with sort of doing this shadow work within themselves, healing within themselves, facing some tower moments in their own life. And kind of the more that they are clearing this clutter and debris in their situation, the more they are coming to this place of clarity that they desire some form of restoration with you in the future of this connection. It may be a slow process to get there, however, and so kind of their comfort zone at this point in time feels to just mainly be, sending the love from afar while they are still in the process of kind of strategizing what to say, working up the nerve and working up the courage to knock on that door, to take a leap of faith, to move closer to you. So energetically, that might even be kind of a prelude for you, feeling and sensing this person more intently at this point in time, which can be that indicator, that kind of confirmation of change which is happening internally, steps that they are needing to take in their own life and within their own kind of subconscious and their own psyche before they are able to kind of make that move towards you in a measurable and meaningful way in 3D. And 4 cards came out from this deck, so I'm just going to take all of them for you. And they say, you're the only one who understands me at such a deep level. So this is really tying into that idea of the intimacy of the eye contact, feeling very seen, recognized, very vulnerable. And I'm hearing ashamed. So this is really tying into that they're ashamed of how they handled the situation. And it's something that they may not have even been able to recognize that in themselves before, this kind of fear of intimacy, when confronted with such intensity, such familiarity. Again, the potential of kind of everything that they can become, as well as the limits that stand in the way of the actualization of that. They're needing to work on some self-forgiveness at this time and kind of pick their way through kind of what had motivated them to react in the way that they did. In a lot of ways, they feel this sanctuary, they feel this comfort with you energetically. You've brought a lot of very positive experiences and positive energy to their life. And so it feels to be something that they're in the process of kind of puzzling out. Why, if this felt so good, did they run so far and so long from you? They also say, so we meet again, my dear friend, through space and across time. So confirmation right there of that deep past life connection, something very otherworldly about you, about this energy, about the circumstances. Also a lot of signs and synchronicities that they may be seeing, which could be very overwhelming to them, may have been overwhelming in the past and continues to be overwhelming, that it caused them to just kind of pull away, retreat, retract their energy, go within and almost try to hide from these things. But what they're finding is that the more that they're running, it's almost the more intense these signs are getting, this kind of call that is urging them to really look around, look deeply within. Understand that it is more than mere coincidence that your paths have crossed. Something really sparked and awakened within each of you for the purposes of deep soul healing, coming into that greater understanding of the meaning of love by loving oneself fearlessly and utterly first and foremost, in order to be able to convey that in a more equal and balanced manner to others. They also say, I desire you deeply and eternally. So more of that past life energy, a bond between you, which is very timeless. As much as they may be kind of putting on this front or this image that they're very unbothered by the situation, they're very content where they are in their life, their thoughts go back to you constantly. There is this longing, this yearning, and this ache to repair the situation. A lot of thoughts that are going on as far as what they wish they had done better in this circumstance, if given the opportunity, what they would do differently in the future. And it's something where, again, it's part of this kind of needing to pick their way through all of that, face some of these shadows and this kind of yearning that they have for you, for returning to this sanctuary of your energy, of your light, even just this urge within that they know they need to at least offer some kind of an apology, some kind of closure, a curiosity about what would happen this time around. Is the time right? Are the two of you ready to really explore and experience a deeper potential than what you had encountered with one another previously? All of this is weighing heavily on their heart and on their mind at this point in time, which again may be really causing them to put up kind of this front or this exterior of being very unbothered by the circumstances, kind of just going through the motions, overcompensating in a lot of ways, and trying to really almost show the world, look how happy I am in my current circumstances. Everything is wonderful, everything is great, but it feels to be a lot of overcompensating, trying to kind of mask or deflect attention from a lot of this uneasiness that they feel within about the choices that they've made. This draw and this pull that they continue to have towards you, and again, a lot of these shadows that are surfacing that they are needing to confront and work through within themselves. And they also say, I tried to stop these feelings, but now you are burning hotter and brighter than ever within me. So confirmation right there of going through the motions, trying to act that they are very happy in whatever the current circumstances are, whether that's with another person or if they're just kind of leading a very single and unattached life. That there's a lot of effort going into that to try and deflect the attention away from the anguish that they feel within, that they've tried to distract themselves, numb this out, maybe even entering into other connections, and yet their heart and mind still comes back to you. They're seeing a lot of signs. They're sending you a lot of signs, a lot of love from afar, and kind of embarking on almost, it feels like looking at a messy room and knowing that something, needs to be clean, needs to be straightened out in the situation to create some kind of order out of the chaos, feeling a bit overwhelmed, not really sure where to start, and so almost in the meantime sending out these kind of signals or signs to you energetically from afar, that they're trying to make their way to you, they're trying to come home, but it's something where it's not as easy as just reaching out. There's something that they feel held back by, that they need to sort out and kind of rectify within themselves before they are in a position to bring something measurable and productive to you by way of an apology, reconciliation, or even an offer to start again, or to at least see if the two of you can be friends in this circumstance. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got I, T, D, F, H, P, Q, B, N, L, Z, and W. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the topics that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out, and I thank you for your support over there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the clear quartz heart. So I'm going to be getting 3 cards from 3 different decks, and let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? Okay, and they say, you are the song of my heart. So music may be very significant to this connection. It feels like this person is almost listening to love songs, maybe listening to songs that remind them of you, sitting in a lot of nostalgia at this point in time. And I'm hearing bittersweet memories. So some of these could be sad songs as well, in addition to love songs. For some of you, this person may be musically inclined, a songwriter, or they play some kind of an instrument. And so that can be a very good, almost an escape for them, or a way for them to kind of process or give voice or form to a lot of these sort of intangible feelings within them, things that they have had difficulty processing. A lot of really tapping into some kind of repressed emotions within them. For a lot of you, this is going to be somebody who is just starting to kind of open that box of memories again for the first time, feeling very overwhelmed at kind of the emotional pull they still feel towards you if this has been kind of a prolonged no contact situation. They also say, you turn loose heaven within me. So this person is very activated, very charged by this connection. You represent energetically, and even in a lot of ways, just who you are and how you move through the world. You represent possibility and potential for this person. They may be in this process of being very inspired by you, very inspired to create, or to at least use kind of these feelings, a lot of these pent-up emotions within them, to make something of meaning, make something of purpose out of all of this, to try and make sense of everything that has happened. Thinking back on kind of the first interactions between the two of you, how you met, what those kind of initial days, that honeymoon phase, that kind of bliss period, what that felt like. Thinking also about, kind of the difficult times that you two have faced, what went wrong, seeing things from a new angle, stepping into a place almost of this newfound strength within them to look at a lot of things about what has taken place between the two of you and in other aspects of their life that they had been avoiding or running from, or just very kind of afraid to look at or to allow themselves to feel too deeply. A fear of being very overwhelmed by the connection, energetically the connection being very overwhelming. It feels from the genesis of the connection, and even in sort of the aftermath of the two of you going into a period of separation or distance, or just some kind of withdrawal that this person has expressed or that you're experiencing in the situation. It feels a lot of that is almost, it's like the idea of kind of stepping out into the noonday sun after being sort of inside, hidden away in the dark. There's something that you really brought to life within this person, and it's very warming, it's very alluring, but at the same time, the intensity of that, the brightness of that, it's difficult for this person to face, but they're in this process of kind of acclimating to that, starting to really see things about you and the connection that they had been unaware of before, feeling a little more comfortable with the intensity, which continues after all this time, however long that has been for you in your particular circumstance. Since you met, since some kind of a separation ensued between the two of you, that the constancy of that vibration, that connection, that love that they feel for you, that hasn't faded. It's something that continues to kind of ebb and flow within them, and is moving now into this place of kind of deepening in intensity once again. But it's something that it feels this time around they are starting to face what they may have run from previously. They also say, I have no words for your kindness and generosity. So they're very grateful to you for respecting their boundaries, for giving them time to process all of this, everything that has happened, the feelings and sensations within them in a very organic manner. That it's something you may have been in kind of a runner chaser circumstance at some point in time, but it feels like for a lot of you, you've detached from that, and it's that detachment which has been a gift to this individual. It has allowed them to really take the time to decipher their own feelings, to kind of pick apart and really sit with and soak in the nature of this connection, this otherworldly element that they feel with you, this vibrance that they feel with you, that has really been awakened within themselves as well. The time and the patience that you have gifted them. It's also allowing them to move into this space of starting to work with these energies, work with that dynamic between the two of you in a variety of ways, whether that's looking at things within themselves. For others of you, this is acting as a muse in some manner, inspiring this person, helping this person on kind of their journey to create a different sort of life for themselves, to move towards some kind of creative goals or pursuits. And I'm hearing you're in everything I do. So they're feeling you really as a companion, energetically speaking, and again as this muse for them to be able to kind of create something different out of the circumstances that they find themselves in, and kind of looking at the situation with you from different eyes. They also say your heart will heal. So this card came up in group 1, so if you felt inclined to watch that one, you may want to do so after this group. There could be additional messages there for you. But this really is speaking about this turning point. This person has turned a corner in some way as far as how they are viewing the connection, viewing you. What may have been a very, almost intense and overwhelming, too blinding to look at what was activated within them. A lot that was going on spiritually within them, energetically within them, that they just sort of turned away from, pushed away. They're leaning more into this, and the more that they are kind of working with, flowing with, surrendering to, kind of the ever-present energies between the two of you. It's helping to provide them with some kind of healing as well. Kind of a rigid or a stuck position that they may have been in. It feels that it's yielding in some way. There's some flexibility here. Instead of just looking at the situation as very finite, very finalized, this is someone who's starting to think of creative solutions, work to kind of chip away at those roadblocks within themselves that had prohibited them in the past, or even kind of recently, from really getting to the root of what it is that was so triggering about this connection, what it is within them that is kind of a limitation or oppresses in some manner their ability to give and receive love in a high vibrational and reciprocal capacity. And they also say, I wish you were here. So speaking of songs, this is a song by Pink Floyd. So I will link that in the description box of the video. This can definitely be a confirmation. There might be additional messages in that song for you, or that might be relevant to your connection already. But it's this sense of really being a companion for one another energetically, that across the distance, the time, and the space, they still feel you very intensely. There's a desire to move back in your direction, starting to look at these memories, things that they had avoided for quite some time, with a fondness, with a nostalgia, feeling very connected to you, and yet at the same time very acutely aware of kind of the distance and the chasm between you that has now developed. And they also say surrender to the present feeling. So this is confirming that idea of someone who is leaning into this connection, energetically speaking, allowing the creative and vibrant forces that still flow between the two of you to be kind of this guiding light for them as far as finding their way through other kind of deficits and difficulties in their life, using that as a muse for some kind of creative endeavor that they are working on, maybe a dream that they are kind of resurrecting from the past, something that they had given up on. There's almost this renewed vigor. They're being charged and almost electrified by this connection, by this energy. And I'm hearing I'm tired of running. So it's bringing to mind somebody who's just kind of exhausted, breathless. They can't continue to avoid this. And in that moment of kind of quiet, of pause, of stopping a particular path that they were moving down, a particular direction, or almost a reaction that they had to this situation, to the intensity, to this idea of being really awakened and enlivened within. It is gifting them the ability to kind of look around, see the situation with fresh eyes. And they also say, thank you for your beautiful presence in my life. So another confirmation there of you being an energetic companion to them, looking back on the times you spent together, words of wisdom that you had to impart, or even just the kind of the bliss of quiet moments. It feels a lot of emphasis on the early days before things got very complicated between the two of you. They're wanting to return to that. They're wanting to move back in that direction through some difficulties that they may be facing at this point in time. Also, you are really helping them to kind of push through, to persevere, to summon their strength to try again, to start again, or to dig deeper into their kind of work on self, or the ways in which they are pressing toward goals in the material sense than they have before. And they also say, thank you for your beautiful light and energy in my life. So that is a confirmation right there, almost essentially the same words as this other card. Thank you for your beautiful presence in my life. They see you as a light. They feel your energy. You are co-creating with them at this stage. They are really, for some of you, also even looking literally to you as an example for ways in which you've processed kind of the difficulties of this situation, any kind of a spiritual path that you are on. They're recognizing that for some of you, they are watching you from afar, watching you on social media, hearing about you from mutual friends. Some of you, they're even asking about you, or kind of looking you up online, seeking you out, watching very silently from the wings, watching from the shadows, but at the same time taking notes, feeling guided toward inspired action that they can do in their own sort of reality in order to reach this kind of vibration of peace and empowerment that you have cultivated and are striving toward as well within yourself and your life. They also say, I wasn't looking for this. I don't know how to deal with this. So that really speaks to the energetic overwhelm of somebody who was deeply activated, very, unexpectedly through this connection. It feels to be very reciprocal in that sense. The two of you having maybe handled the situation in a different manner, whereas, you leaned in, you explored these things. Your kind of period of resistance had given way to surrender a lot sooner than this person. They are now embarking on that aspect of the journey. So it feels that they're a little bit behind you in terms of sort of real world actions, the ways in which they are consciously kind of processing and dealing with and facing a lot of this very quietly, very internally within. Again, maybe kind of leaning into creative pursuits as a way to kind of make sense of all of this, to do something with this ever-present energy rather than investing so much effort in suppressing all of it. But it's something to where energetically the two of you are right on pace. You're right on time with each other. So transformation happening very quietly within someone who's really starting to look at things that they had been avoiding about this connection and also within themselves for quite some time. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be the first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got O, A, G, D, F, S, Q, T, X, and J. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that, as well as in the channel section of my page. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards and general energy check-ins, but the topics that I cover are related to spirituality, ascension, wellness, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out, and I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 3. You chose the Jade heart. So I'm going to be getting 3 cards from 3 different decks, and let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? Okay, and they say, I feel you so strongly, I can taste your essence. So they could be dreaming about you a lot, sensing your energy around them, feeling very bonded to you at this point in time. A lot of thoughts that are drifting to the intensity of this connection. It may just be in a very broad sense, not necessarily focused on particular memories, although that can be sort of instigating or contributing to this kind of sensation within them. But this feels to be something that's almost tangible. It's almost beyond their ability to logically explain it. Just thinking of you at random times throughout the day, feeling you in kind of this nebulous sense of energy, rather than anything that is really connected to sort of the 3D experiences the two of you have shared with one another. And they also say, forgive me, I have never felt this way before. I do not know how to act. So this feels like somebody who almost is at a loss for words, wanting to kind of lean in closer, wanting to provide some kind of explanation, open the lines of communication once again, but they're feeling very much at a loss as far as what to do, how to maneuver in this situation, how to course correct from whatever has happened in the past between the two of you. It's almost giving the idea of all they can do is just really feel. All they can do is just really experience. They're powerless at this point in time to know kind of what the meaning of all of this is, of this sensation with you, feeling you, sensing you, getting all these signs and reminders of you. And this is someone that doesn't feel like who is actively kind of turning away from all of this. It feels very pleasant when these energetic reminders, when this energy courses, through them, through their entire being and their entire kind of energy. They feel you down to the soul level. And it's opening up their perspective as far as the nature of connectedness that is possible between two people. And it's also leading them down a line of questioning as far as scratching beneath the surface about why the two of you have encountered one another in this lifetime, what the nature, purpose of this connection is, and what the possibilities are for what you can become or build toward in the future. They also say, don't think I don't care about you, because I really do. So in kind of an energy of silence, or where they've been sort of closed off, this is someone who's really pensive. They're thinking at this point in time, thinking of what to say, how to make the next move in this situation, trying to kind of wrap their mind around as best as possible what kind of defies logic in terms of this connection that they feel towards you, this draw that they feel towards you. This is definitely a situation where it is not out of sight, out of mind. They feel you, they are reminded of you constantly throughout the day. And it's a very alluring feeling. They're very magnetized towards that. There's a hunger, almost an excitement or an anticipation, waiting for when they will next kind of feel your presence around them, keeping an eye out for the little signs and the nudges and the clues that are directing them towards you, toward thoughts of you, or confirming kind of this almost next level element to the connection, to your presence that still persists in their life, even if you are in a no contact situation. And they also say, you are always in my thoughts. So a lot of mental energy, a lot of reminders. You may be picking this up as well. This feels to be very mirrored energy, almost like the two of you are cloaking one another energetically speaking, or some kind of a perfume that is kind of wafting in and out of your day-to-day reality, coming to each other in dreams. Kind of making that energetic move toward one another in ways that on the 3D level, at the conscious level, this person isn't necessarily prepared to do at this point in time. And it also feels that there's something that's really transmuting or shifting within this connection, that at the state that they are at right now, and even at where you are at, there's kind of elevation that needs to take place in order for kind of the door to be open to a different kind of experience with one another, that as the connection exists right now, as each of you are at in your own kind of personal level of sort of growth and development and activation, that it's necessary to just have this energetic bond at this point in time. You're both in this process of metamorphosis, and that to come back almost too soon would lead to a lot of confusion, one or both of you not being ready necessarily, kind of triggering and sort of prolonging this process of what's taking place. But this energetic bond, this energetic draw, this energetic curiosity definitely feels like a prelude to something that may be getting ready to take place in the material world, in terms of reaching that place of preparedness for this person to advance towards you in a more concrete manner. And we also have surrender to the present feeling. So this card came up, I believe it was in group 2, but it might have also been in group 1. So if you felt inclined to watch either or both of those groups, there could be additional messages there for you. But this is really talking about, just kind of this observation energy that this person is in right now. They are in the flow of this. They are taking note of the signs, of the synchronicities. They are feeling your energy and very consciously aware that this is you. This is you in kind of a grander sense of the ego and the personality. And it's a way of kind of almost looking at reality, looking at energy, experiencing the connection between two people than they have known up to this point in time. It's leading to a lot of questions, a lot of just feeling powerless to do anything more than kind of observe and feel and experience the flow and kind of what is really being shaped and kind of shaken loose within them through this bond, through this dynamic, through the way that the two of you are really co-creating with one another. You're collaborating with one another energetically, while in the 3D sense there may be kind of distance or difficulty between the two of you. And they also say, I know we are soulmates. So they are definitely in a place of recognizing something that is out of the ordinary about this circumstance, about this connection. It is not an accident that the two of you have met. They feel a deep bond to you, a very unique connection, very activating, at the same time really bringing to their awareness kind of deeper levels of who they are, some kind of a greater purpose for the place they are at in their life and kind of the path that they have been walking, as well as new horizons that they may not have anticipated before. All that has been sort of sparked and awakened or brought to their attention through this connection with you. And again, this idea of kind of the two of you at the soul level being very sort of entwined with one another, bonded with one another across the distance, still communicating, still very much moving in flow with one another, despite any kind of 3D difficulties, confusion, or obstacles that you are facing. They also say, I always hope to have you in my life. So they do not want to disconnect from this feeling, from this sensation of perceiving you energetically. There may have been times in the past where they tried to extinguish this, ignore this, numb this out, or run from it. But it feels like they are now in this place of really welcoming that, inviting that, having this anticipation almost. When are they going to see you again or feel you again energetically? When are they going to see those signs? You're a part of their day. You're something that they look forward to. This can also really talk about somebody who's kind of in this process of trying to work their way to this point of being able to deliver some kind of an apology to you, wanting to work through whatever difficulties had happened in the past, and sort of leaning into this wave or this momentum that is pulling them back in your direction energetically. They also say you are always so sweet. So they see your presence and your energy as kind of a highlight of their day, of their experience, of their life. I'm hearing you are the light of my life. So there's something they find very inspirational about you, ways in which you have handled this situation. You've handled the disappointment and the heartbreak with grace. You have not allowed the situation to embitter you, but to help motivate you to become better. To become more compassionate, more loving, more empowered. And it's something that they find very inspirational. They find that very endearing. They're in deep admiration of kind of these positive qualities about you, these qualities of overcoming and really stepping into the best version of self, continuing to keep your heart open despite everything that has happened. And it is really inspiring them to kind of search for the obstacles within themselves that prohibit them at this point from kind of harboring and harnessing that similar vibration within themselves and in their life. And they also say it's like we're star-crossed lovers. Will we ever make it work? So a lot of focus on the obstacles that stand between you at this point in time. Again, not feeling ready to necessarily come forth to you, but working with the energy very actively that exists between the both of you. With the idea of star, you may resonate as a star seed, so this can be a confirmation of that, a very cosmic connection, a very kind of otherworldly, next level connection. This really also talks about kind of looking toward the future, anticipating movement beyond the current circumstances of what the two of you face. That is, it's on their mind, it's in their heart, it's in their energy right now, kind of waiting for circumstances to align, for the stars to align, for that window of opportunity to be made known within themselves, or to reach that place within themselves where they feel confident to take this kind of excitement and anticipation and energy of cooperation on that energetic space out into the material world by way of action. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got H, M, T, W, Y, I, A, N, E, F, L, and Z. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I have also started a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box of the video as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick a cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the topics that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check out that channel, and I thank you for your support over there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.